What's going on, everybody? This is Patrick from Porter's Unboxings, as you know. I'm going to be doing yearly pay-per-views since a lot of people are doing them on YouTube. So let's get started with 2012. I have the Royal Rumble 2012. I actually went to this pay-per-view live, and a couple days before this pay-per-view, I met the winner of the Royal Rumble, Sheamus. You have Sheamus on the cover, Sheamus on the spine, and then just that picture. I wonder who won. So, plain disc artwork. Went to Branson in December of 2012. And I think that's when this came out, or July. I'm not sure. But the woman at the Walmart almost did not sell this to me because I was too young. First of all, cashier at Walmart, if you're watching this, I went to this pay-per-view with my father. God, that always gets me into a rant. Jeez, please. So you have John Cena versus Kane, Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and Big Show for the world title, and then the 30-man Royal Rumble. And then a fatal four-way match for the women's title. I mean the Divas title. And CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler with John Laurinaitis as a referee. And then Josh Matthews interviews Sheamus, and then interviews Bryan. So that's the Rumble. And I got Elimination Chamber. Two very good Elimination Chambers, actually. Got the disc art. I like that. So, we got Beth Phoenix versus Tamina Snuka for the Divas title. Ambulance match. John Cena versus Kane. Boring. Then you have, for the world title, you have Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes, Big Show, Tino Marella, which is my grandpa's favorite wrestler besides Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett, and Great Khali. Then you have, for the WWE title match, you have CM Punk, Miz, R-Truth, Jericho, Ziggler, and Kingston. Then I have the winner of the Elimination Chamber match for the world title. This is where Bryan and Punk actually retained both of their championships. So it isn't that fun. And then we get to I picked the best years to review. WrestleMania 28. Not a bad pay-per-view. Once in a lifetime. Yeah, right, dumbos. So you have John Cena versus The Rock. Then you have a very good Triple H versus Undertaker Hell in a Cell match. End of an era match. Yeah, right. Check back in 20 years. Because in 2018, that went out the window. Crown Jewel, Super Showdown. Good Lord. So, flaps. And then, yeah, I actually have a match listing here. And a match listing on the back. Then you also have Edge going into the Hall of Fame this year. Big Show and Randy Orton and Kane. Jericho and Punk. Daniel Bryan and Sheamus in their 18-second match at WrestleMania. So let's go over the match listing here. On disc 1, you have Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the world title. Randy Orton versus Kane. Stupid match. I like their Extreme Rules match better. Cody Rhodes versus Big Show for the IC title, where Big Show would win the championship. Interview Shawn Michaels. Marmunez versus Beth Phoenix and Eve. I don't care. Then the Hell in a Cell match. Team Teddy versus Team Johnny. Booker T, Great Khali, R-Truth, Morella, Kingston, Ryder versus Swagger, McIntyre, David Otunga, Mark Henry, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz. And then CM Punk versus Chris Jericho for the WWE title. And then The Rock versus John Cena. Yay! And then Triple H and Undertaker's history. And then Edge goes into the Hall of Fame with the Four Horsemen, Yokozuna, and Mike Tyson. So, not a... well, you'll find out. So that's WrestleMania 28. Probably one of the best Extreme Rules I've seen in a long time. Yes, I got this at Best Buy in 2012. So, you have Randy Orton versus Kane in a Falls Count Anywhere match coming off WrestleMania. Big Show versus Cody Rhodes in a tables match. 2 out of 3 falls for the world title. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. Chicago Street Fight. CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. Nikki Bella versus Layla. And the returning Brock Lesnar versus John Cena in an Extreme Rules match. Whenever I pop in this pay-per-view, I have a fantastic time watching it. I think you should go pick this up if you don't have it. Now let's go on to the worst pay-per-view of the year. Actually, 2 of the worst pay-per-view. One of the 2 pay-per-views of the year that sucked. Over the Limit. I have these out of order. People Power! Shut up. Layla versus Beth Phoenix. Cody Rhodes. Where the hell am I getting these names? Kofi Kingston and R-Truth versus Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. Sheamus, Del Rio, Jailbird, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton for the world title. A very good world title match on this card. And a very good WWE title match against Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And then you have this. John Laurinaitis versus John Cena. And if John Laurinaitis got pinned or submitted, he would be fired. Yay! That did not happen. Let's see. These are probably out of order, but you have Money in the... Yeah, you have No Way Out 2012. Look at this. Just look at this cover real quick. What does this tell you about No Way Out? I would just use the poster artwork that they had with AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan. Fantastic disc artwork, though. I like that. You have Layla versus Beth Phoenix again. Yep. Santino Marella versus Ricardo Rodriguez in a tuxedo match. Christian versus Cody Rhodes in an Intercontinental title match. Sheamus versus Ziggler for the world title. CM Punk, Bryan, and Kane for the world title. For the WWE title. A steel cage match. John Cena versus The Big Show. Yay! You know what? I think I just did that out of order. Darn it. Money in the Bank. I wonder who won. Spoiler cover. So, Money in the Bank. Great disc artwork. I mean, in 2012, they did have great disc artwork. And then you have The Day. I've never heard of it. You have Sheamus versus Del Rio for the world title. You have a great no disqualification match for the WWE title. CM Punk versus Bryan. You have the world title match. Christian, Dolph Ziggler, Tensai, Santino Marella, Damian Sandow, Tyson Kidd, Cody Rhodes, Sin Cara. And then Cena, Kane, Jericho, Big Show, and The Miz. Spoiler cover. Bless it. And then you have a very good SummerSlam. I like that. I like that a lot. You have Sheamus versus Del Rio. Again. Like, can we stop? You have Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a good match. You have Jericho versus Ziggler when Jericho came back. You have Kane versus Bryan. And CM Punk, John Cena, and Big Show. This was a very good year for CM Punk. He kept his title, actually. Then we go on to Night of Champions 2012. Spoiler cover. Now, this would be the cover for, in my opinion, please put down in the comments if you think this would be a fantastic cover instead of this. Where this would be in John Cena's hometown of Boston, Massachusetts. Puts his 300-day reign on the line against Cena. Sheamus versus Del Rio. Like, why do we need these? Like,
time to start wrapping up your work.
Shut up, Alexa. Del Rio, Del Rio, Del Rio. And this is where...
Luis Manuel Del Rio y Fernandez was a Spanish-Mexican scientist, naturalist, and engineer who discovered compounds of vanadium in 1801.
This is where Sheamus' bro kick would be banned and then put back on the line. You have Orton versus Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro versus Ryder for the U.S. title, and then Team Hell No versus Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. So that's Night of Champions. Then we go on to Hell in the Cell 2012. Note nothing will ever be the same after the Superstars emerge from the vest steels of Hell in the Cell. I like that. But I do not like this cover. But I'm a huge fan of Punk. But that's just not doing it for me. So, you have Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus Primetime Players. Triple threat for the Divas title. Eve, Layla, Caitlyn. The Miz versus Kofi Kingston for the IC title. Team Hell No versus Team Rhodes Scholars. This is where Big Show wins the world's title with a knockout punch. And then CM Punk versus Ryback with a crooked referee Brad Manox in a Hell in a Cell for the WWE title. And then you have Survivor Series, where the Shield would make their debut. I like every cover of this year except Over the Limit and No Way Out. The covers aren't bad. Well, that one as well, I guess. But right there. And for some reason, I kept all of the receipts from 2012. So, well, some of them, but whoever. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus Primetime Players. Eve versus Caitlyn. Just making sure. And then R-Truth versus Cesaro for the U.S. title. Big Show versus Sheamus again. Again, with these rivalries pushing out. Then you have Team Foley versus Team Ziggler. Randy Orton, Team Hell No, Kingston and The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, Damian Sandow, David Otunga, Alberto Del Rio, Jailbird, Wade Barrett. Then you have Punk, Cena, and Ryback. And then Punk would retain the title due to the Shield. TLC 2012. Yay, we're finally at the end of the year. For some reason, I did not go to Best Buy because this does not have a receipt. I probably went to Walmart, but all of 2012 came from Best Buy. I don't know where the receipt is for that. But then we get no match listing at all. See, we go from October to December with no match listing. Sheamus, Big Show in a chairs match. The Shield versus Team Hell No and Ryback. Then Cena and Ziggler for the Money in the Bank. And then I can't tell you anything else. Yeah. But that's 2012 for you. And this has been Patrick from Porous Unboxings. And I'm out. Peace.